Are you ready to rock? I said, are you ready to rock? You're not ready? Aww. Alright, so let's forge this rebar knife and a file knife on a rock in my backyard. No anvil, no belt sander needed. You know you can find a large rock laying around. That's right, the two biggest barriers to forging knives has just been eradicated. The third is a total and complete lack of skill, but hey, that's never stopped me before. Another hurdle? Having a forge. But the Shogun abides, and he has provided me with this homemade forge made with ceramic blanket and sheet metal. Thanks, Shogun Jimi. You can go check him out on his channel, watch him build this forge. See the link below. Ceramic blanket insulation is cheap. It's easy, and it's a really good insulator. But the fibers will break loose. They'll get in your lungs. They cause permanent damage. We can't have that. So you always cover it with a layer of refractory like this Satanite, or there's a dozen other options out there. Even then, I still usually wear a mask while forging. So I told Jimmy if he built a forge, I'd apply the refractory because I have some laying around, and he agreed. We're going to use some Bernzomatic torches as our heat source after we put some tighter fitting brass tubes in the burner ports. The torches are about 38 bucks each, and the propane tank's about $4 each. They only burn for about 60 to 75 minutes, so this is not economical at all, but lots of people have these laying around. One torch will technically get this forge hot enough to use, but it takes a little longer to heat everything up, including the metal, so I'm going to blast away with 2 torches. Now I forged on this rock before using a fire pit in the ground with a hairdryer to superheat the coals. There's a video of that laying around here somewhere. If you're interested, you can go check that out. Rebar? Yeah, rebar. It's as ubiquitous as a big rock. So if you can't scrounge up rebar, then well, I don't know. Maybe you're not even trying. First we're going to hammer the tip, and then we'll go to isolate our tang area, or our handle. Finding a usable edge on this rock to isolate the handle is a little bit of a trick, but eventually I think I get it figured out. You can see that the rock sort of flakes off in areas, so it's not the most durable anvil. Now let's talk about this rebar. Don't knock it. It's true, it's a lousy knife steel overall, but it's going to get hair popping sharp, and it'll still make a decent and fun steak knife. What? Rebar won't make a knife that cuts steak? Maybe. Or maybe you just need to learn to cook steak. This is the same rock from my last rock forging video. It's held up pretty well. It's not done too bad. It was in a landscaping yard labeled as Geneva, which I've since come to find out isn't the actual name of a rock. So I don't know what it is, but it works, and maybe someone out there can identify this just by looking at it. You guys can probably tell I'm just using a tiny little ball peen hammer here, not even a proper forging hammer. You can get these at, Harbor Freight or pawn shop or whatever for cheap. This project, I think, is pretty approachable for most people. It takes a little bit of time to round up some of this stuff, but it's all very inexpensive. Don't forget some safety glasses. These rocks chip. Alright, enough talky. Let's forge.
Don't be crying, one more night I'm gone. Saturday, I hope I don't want to leave you. One more night I'm mine. You might say it's just one more hour, one more
All right, let's normalize it. We'll do that a couple times, whatever good that does, rebar, I don't know. And then it's time to quench in the dog's water dish. Most of the scale is knocked off with this angle grinder. Filing that away is possible, but it's pretty hard stuff. I have a really coarse file here and it hogs the material away fairly quickly, but then you have to clean up those scratch marks with a less coarse file, and then of course sandpaper. Overall, this was more than a few hours of work. So if you have a belt sander, break it out. Now's the time. Or maybe an angle grinder with a flapper wheel or something. I don't know. Yeah, I got a razor sharp. That's pretty cool. Is it going to hold that edge? Not really at all, but it's a fun project. It still make a good steak knife, I maintain. That knife in the background was forged from a file on the rock that you just saw with the forge you just saw. I cleaned it up on a belt sander though, and I'm going to send it to Shogun Jimi. He's going to show the video of me forging it and then put handles on it, and it'll be auctioned to charity. So go check out his channel. I'll give the links below. I had a great time, guys. You know what comes next? Rock on.
Yeah, rock out. Wait, what is wrong with this music? I can't unrock to this music. This is not rocking. This is not rocking.